Cursor just published a 23-page technical report. Their own model, custom-trained, beats GPT-5, and they're not apologizing for it. This is a $29 billion company telling Anthropic and OpenAI, thanks for the ride, we'll drive now. That's what this report actually says between the lines. The base model is Kimi K2.5, 1.04 trillion parameters, 32 billion active at inference mixture of experts. They evaluated 3 models, GLM-5, DeepSeek v3.2 and Kimi K2.5, Kimi 1. DeepSeek had better state tracking, but Cursor picked Kimi. There's a reason a US startup building a product for US developers doesn't ship on Chinese infrastructure right now. Nobody's saying it out loud, but it's there. 2 training phases. First, continued pre-training on code data, squeezing more code knowledge into the base weights. Then, large-scale reinforcement learning, not the fake RL everyone's been doing, real environment execution, real test results, real reward signals. The RL setup is asynchronous. Training workers, inference workers, environment workers all decoupled running in parallel, and they trained behavior rewards. Not just did the code work, but did the model communicate properly, use tools well, not leave TODOs hanging. During training, they observed emergent behaviors. The model started writing long chains of thought inside code comments. It started using only the terminal, ignoring file edits entirely. Both got fixed. This is what happens when your eval is actually realistic. Self-summarization: when the context window fills up on a long task, instead of failing or truncating, the model summarizes its own progress, then continues from that summary. It learns to compress its own context during RL training. This is genuinely clever. Now let's talk infrastructure, because this is where it gets obvious that Cursor is not a startup anymore. They built AnyRun, an internal compute platform, Firecracker VMs, 500 pods per second, custom CUDA kernels they contributed to Flash Attention 4. Delta compression for weight sync, a 1 trillion parameter model, weight updates compressed down to a few gigabytes. That's not a trick, that's engineering. The weight diffs are small because RL training steps are small. They figured out how to ship that efficiently at scale. Cursor Bench, their internal benchmark, real tasks from actual Cursor engineer sessions. Median 181 lines changed per task. Compare that to SWE Bench, 7 to 10 lines. The prompts are underspecified, 390 characters versus over 1,000 on public benchmarks. The numbers: Composer 2, 61.3% on Cursor Bench, GPT 5.4, 63.9, Opus 4.6 high, 58.2, Codex 5.3, 59.1. They're in the same range as every frontier model on their own benchmark. But let's be honest, their benchmark, their rules. So, SWE Bench Multilingual, 73.7%, Terminal Bench, 61.7%. These are public, reproducible, and those numbers are real. Here's the thing though, they grade their own homework. Cursor Bench is internal, not reproducible. The tasks come from Cursor engineer sessions, which means it's optimized for exactly what Cursor does. Nobody outside Cursor can verify it. Cost: this is the part nobody's talking about. Composer 2 is Pareto optimal on cost versus accuracy. Meaning, same accuracy as GPT 5.4 at dramatically lower inference cost. For a company running millions of agentic sessions per day, that's existential. The Cursor Bench examples are worth looking at. Task 1, a bug where scoring attempts 2 and 3 succeed but the agent reports failed after 3 attempts. Root cause: an SBuild 0.20 transpilation bug for using declarations. This is not a toy problem. Task 2, streaming prefix detection. The agent must write a heuristic across 954 response files to detect and count a subtle prefix streaming bug. That's a real data engineering task, not a contrived algorithm problem. One more technical detail that matters: both average and best of K performance improved. This is important. If only best of K improved, it means the model got luckier, not better, just reweighting existing solutions. Both improving means the model genuinely learned new capabilities. Here's what this means for the industry. Anthropic and OpenAI built the pick-and-shovel business. Cursor was supposed to be the miner, but now Cursor made their own shovel, and it's sharper. This is vertical integration eating the AI stack from the top down. The developer community reaction is split. Half impressed that a product company shipped real ML infrastructure. Half skeptical of a company that grades its own homework and conveniently beats everyone. Both are correct. The truth is somewhere with the public benchmarks. RL Inference partnered with Fireworks AI, not OpenAI, not Anthropic. Fireworks, the specialized inference startup that nobody talks about. This is Cursor systematically replacing every dependency with a cheaper, faster alternative. Here's the bottom line. Cursor published a real technical report, real infrastructure, real benchmarks, some self-reported, some public. The model competes with frontier models at lower cost. They wrote custom CUDA kernels. They're training on Blackwell. This is vertical integration at $29 billion, and it's just the first custom model. What does version 3 look like?